Welcome to the Duo Talks podcast, where we explore the differences between the US American and the UK Cambridge pathways. Which is harder, which is better, and which should you or your child choose? I'm Juwan Sagar, a grade 11 student on the US pathway.
And I'm Janish Shami, a grade 11 student on the Cambridge pathway.
I'm Abdul Hamid Al-Hazmi, a grade 10 student on the US pathway.
And I'm Abdulaziz Al-Karni, a grade 10 student in the Cambridge pathway.
To start at the beginning, I personally came to Waad last year in grade 10, and I remember feeling very nervous to make the wrong choice. I had no guidance at the time, I didn't have this podcast, and I had to make the decision right then and there. In the end, I went with the US pathway since it felt like the safer choice for me because it's what I'd been studying my whole life in other schools, and I was already used to it. But I do know everyone's experience is different, so I'd like to hear it from you guys' perspective. When did you have to choose, and how did you make that decision?
I chose the US pathway in the summer after grade 8. For me, it was about flexibility. I liked that my GPA builds over time and that I could balance academics with extracurriculars. I also felt it matched my goals better since I want to study in the US.
I chose the Cambridge pathway back in grade 8. The main reason was the structured system. It gave me a clear direction from the start. I prefer having a clear plan and focusing deeply on specific subjects instead of studying many at once, which fits my learning style better.
And as a UK pathway student, what does it feel like to go in depth on a few subjects instead of covering many?
Up until grade 10, we take all subjects deeply. Then in grade 11, you get to pick what subjects you want to focus on. And honestly, it does feel intense, but also really rewarding. Instead of studying a bit of everything, you're focusing deeply on subjects that actually matter for your future, which helps a lot when you already know what you want to major in and where you want to study. You also start dropping subjects you don't need or aren't interested in, so everything becomes more deeply focused. And as a US pathway student, how do you manage a broad curriculum while still excelling in areas you care about the most?
Managing a broad curriculum is all about balance. I try to stay consistent with studying instead of cramming. And if there's a subject I really care about, I'll put an extra effort there while still keeping up with everything else.
And I've heard you guys on the UK pathway do a lot of independent studying. Is that true?
Yes, independent studying is a big part of the Cambridge pathway. It really depends on self-discipline. You have to manage your time, stay consistent, and make sure you understand everything as you go, not just before the exams. At the same time, our school supports us with booster classes, which really help when we need extra practice or clarification.
Can you tell us about what IGCSE exams are like, how you prepare, and what that pressure might feel like?
Okay, IGC exams are very exam focused. Each subject usually has multiple papers that test different skills. Like for example, science subjects have three papers each. One that covers the multiple choice, one is focused on the structural slash theoretical part, and one on the practical part. The questions aren't always direct, so preparation really depends on consistency, reviewing notes, understanding concepts, and doing a lot of past paper practice. The pressure mostly comes from how many exams there are and how close they are together, so you really have to stay disciplined and keep up throughout the year.
For me, I'm not currently taking my IGCSE exams yet, but from what I've seen, they require consistency and preparation over time. It's not something you can leave until last minute. You need to stay on track throughout the year. How does your GPA work, and how do regular exams compare to AP exams?
Our GPA is based on a 4.0 scale, where grades like A, B, and C convert into points. There's also a difference between weighted and unweighted GPA. Weighted gives extra value to harder classes like AP, unlike one final exam deciding everything. Our grades build over time through assessments, quizzes, and exams.
So, in the regular US curriculum, exams are usually spread out. So, you'll have multiple exams like quizzes, midterms, and finals. You're just constantly being tested and you're building your grade over time. Whereas with AP, it's more like one big exam at the end of the year, kind of like GRT or Tahsili, in the sense that you study months for one exam. And at the end, colleges look at how much you got on each AP exam subject instead of a cumulative or average grade like in the regular curriculum. And speaking of college, which universities or countries is everyone hoping to apply to, and how does your pathway help with that goal?
So, I'm mainly interested in studying something like medicine or biotechnology, and I'm considering studying abroad, especially in the UK. The Cambridge pathway, especially with A levels, makes that transition smoother by sometimes allowing you to skip foundation year, and also because it's widely recognized and aligns well with international university requirements.
I'm planning to stay local and apply to universities like King Saud University, University of Jeddah, and King Abdulaziz University. The Cambridge pathway helps me with that because it provides a strong academic preparation and is well recognized, which supports my chances of getting accepted into these universities.
As a US pathway student, I'm aiming for opportunities in the US, specifically in a few colleges like Penn State and USC Berkeley. The system gives me flexibility, especially with things like AP exams and GPA, which are recognized by many universities worldwide, but mainly in the US.
So I'm planning to stay local and apply to KAU and KFUPM. The American certificate is accepted by every college in Saudi Arabia, but it has its extra benefits in certain colleges like King Abdulaziz University. They recently opened a new path where anyone who takes 3 AP exams in subjects related to their major and scores a 3 or above can skip foundation year. So for me, I want to major in engineering, so I decided to take pre-calc and physics 1 this year, and I'll be doing another AP next year to hopefully skip that first year.
Do you think Waad's university counseling helped shape your goals, and what does that support look like?
Yes, they've done so much for me, like bringing representatives from colleges abroad to tell us why we should apply and how to apply. They've also done trips to visit universities like KAUST, Effat, UBT, and Dar al Hikmah. Just last term, we had a business program partnered with Waad Academy for those who want to know more about business. And this term, we had one-to-one counseling sessions with IDP so we can know more about what to do if we want to study abroad. Now, this unfortunately brings us to the end of our podcast episode. We hope to see you next episode for our head-to-head debates, and have a great rest of your week. This is the Duo Talks podcast, wishing you the best of luck.